Hey YouTube, and welcome to Tipsy Python, the casual experience for learning Python. Being that this is the first video on the channel, I thought that I'd just take a second to talk about myself and my motivations and my ideas for what this channel is going to be. All the while enjoying a delicious pour off this monkey shoulder, of course. That's good. Let me start by introducing myself now. My name is Josha. I live in Austin, Texas, and I'm a software developer. And as far back as I can remember, I was always interested in computers. I was interested in programming, but it was like such a tough thing for me to get a grasp on. I mean, I remember being in grade school and checking out books from the library, trying to learn like the basic programming language. And everything that I read was just so far over my head, it was really tough for me to get a start programming. Now, I think the internet has made information much more available. It's definitely much more accessible to people now than it was before, but learning to program, learning to code is still not an easy process. It can be confusing, it can be a little intimidating, and it can just be difficult to find a good starting place. I'll just tell you about my experience so far though. After high school, I jumped around between a few different jobs and eventually ended up at a call center where I had a friend. He was a friend and a mentor to me who helped me get started in community college in Austin. While I was at community college, I downloaded Eclipse and I was going through Java tutorials, and that's really the first time in my life that I started seeing myself progressing as I was learning to code through something. It was still very difficult, but I was making progress. And then I transferred to UT Austin. I was taking more technical classes, and that's really where I started picking up my technical skills. There, I learned to program in Visual Basic, I learned SQL. I don't know how much I understood, but I picked up front-end skills like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I did some back-end web application programming in ASP.NET. I even had a volunteer project that I did with a company where I was doing some PHP for them. I mean, I learned a lot of technical skills really quickly by going to college. And then after I graduated, I landed a role at a big company where I currently work. I've been there about 5 years. I can't tell you which one, but it's a 100-year-old manufacturing company that we'll just call Mineral Rotors. When I started there, I was doing a lot of SQL development, I was doing a lot of shell scripting, but that's where I started picking up my Python from. When I first learned Python, I mean, I didn't even want to learn Python specifically. Like, there's another technology called Spark that I wanted to learn. You can write it in Java, Scala, or Python. And everyone online was saying that Python was the easiest way to get started, so that's what I chose. And more than anything, I think this is a testament to how easy it is to learn Python. I didn't know the language at all. Like, I was just started copying things from the Apache documentation and entering it and tweaking it a little bit here and there, hitting Google searches, and somehow I made something that worked. In time, I got over the Spark thing, I was done with that, but I worked really closely with a good buddy of mine that he was getting really into Python. I mean, this guy was reading books, he really was dedicating himself to learn the language. And so as such, he was coding Python in his programs, and I was picking up these scripts and then I was modifying them or adding new functionality or doing whatever I had to do. And so I just started picking up Python too. And while it wasn't really a straight path for me to get there, that's how I got in the routine of writing Python. And the more that I did it, the more that I found I enjoyed it. It wasn't work like writing a lot of the other languages that I was doing. It wasn't just grinding through boilerplate code and writing the same things over and over again. Python is succinct and easy to write, it's easy to read, it's easy to maintain. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to using it. And there are a lot of applications for Python. I mean, like I said, I was writing PySpark for big data processing, and I was writing it for file manipulation. You can use it to write web services. I mean, it is a great general purpose programming language. And I'm not saying that Python is the end all be all. I mean, you have to use the right tool for the right job. There are some things that Java is just better for, or that Golang is better for, or whatever language. There are use cases where other things are better, but I'm just saying a lot of the time Python is good enough and it will get the job done. And for myself personally, the more that I used Python, the more I was interested in really like going deeper into language and learning more about it, applying it to more use cases, and it made me grow as a developer myself just because it was fun to write. It was something that I wanted to do, and that's why I'm doing the channel. I think Python is a great place for any developer to start learning how to code. Yeah, monkey shoulder really is good. Now, enough about me. Let's talk about you. I can't really figure out a single reason why anyone would be watching this show, and I can't think of like 2 or 3, but I think there's a range of reasons why someone would be interested in learning how to program. Perhaps you're already experienced in some programming language and you're looking to learn Python. Perhaps you are outside of the IT profession, you're looking to get into it. Perhaps you're just a hobbyist. Maybe you're a small business owner that doesn't have access to the budget you would need to get some IT resources working for you, so you're just kind of grinding it out, doing it yourself. I truly believe that in any of these cases and in many more, Python is a great place to jump off, learning some of the core concepts that apply to a variety of programming languages, and you get productive really quickly. No matter what your goals are, like maybe you want to make a cleanup script that looks for old files in your downloads folder and removes them. Maybe you want to put up a web application with a contact me form, or even a place where customers can go place their orders for your business. Maybe you can do something as simple as monitoring your social email and responding to posts, or checking YouTube for new comments. All these activities and many more are within your grasp. They're easy to learn, they're accessible, and they can be done with Python. Now, again, I'm not saying Python is the right tool for all the jobs, but I am saying that in a lot of cases, it is effective. And that brings me to my motivations for doing this series. Really, I have three. Number one, I just want to help people learn how to code. Like I said, I firsthand know that it can be frustrating and confusing to start programming. So I want to give people a place where they can learn coding concepts and apply them very quickly. I want to give simple, short tutorials with context about how you would apply this in real code. Number two, as an IT practitioner myself, this is important for me to feel like I have some mastery over my craft. I need to be able to explain things in very simple terms so that I know that I myself understand what I'm talking about. I had a buddy that said that teaching is one of the best learning exercises, and that's really what I'm trying to do with this series. And third, I just enjoy doing this, like all of this. I had a YouTube channel a couple years ago where I was doing TV reviews, and I like and I miss the creative process of putting videos together. Also, just in my spare time, I'll come home after work, I'll check in with my fiance, I'll see how she's doing, we'll have dinner, and then maybe I'll come upstairs, have a little glass of scotch, enjoy myself, and do some coding tutorials or some exercises or something to grow. So really, I figure I'm gonna be doing this anyways. Like, this is just me. I might as well record it. And that really wraps up my opening comments for the channel. So I'll end by saying this. I genuinely appreciate your interest watching this video, and I look forward to interacting with you in the comments. And if you find this kind of content appealing, I'm gonna very, very politely ask you to consider subscribing, because again, it'll make me feel validated, but also it'll help me gauge interest in this type of content. And this is all a big experiment for me, so I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing in the future, but your reaction is going to help me figure out what kind of content I'm going to be making. And that, my friends, wraps up my channel intro video. Thank you so much for watching, and without any further ado, Tipsy Python. Oh yeah, the Tipsy is actually a thing. Like, I'm going to be sipping in most, if not all, my videos, and I'm going to be talking about it at the end. In today's video, I enjoyed a refreshing pour of this monkey shoulder scotch. It really is delicious. I always get green apples on this one. If you haven't tried it yet, fantastic price. You should pick this one up and have a pour yourself. Until next time, friends, Tipsy Python.